G'day, I'm Chris, this is Flat Tank Journey. Welcome back to the shed. Fabulous to have you here. If you've just joined the channel, if you're a new subscriber, that's fabulous. If you've just found me, hey, hit the subscribe button, that's fabulous too. Exciting news, I've got a web store. I've got a web store selling t-shirts and stubby holders and a window sticker. If you want to have a look, there's a link in the description down below. Get online, go to it, have a look. It's a mate of mine who runs a shop and he's offered me space in their web platform. So go and have a look, and Flat Tank Journey on a t-shirt. Who knew? Hey, listen, moving on, because let's get to the topic. Wedge tank and round tank. This episode contains both of them. It's about carburetors, and I need to emphasize really early in the video, like now, at this point, you're about to watch the whole video. None of this is tested. It hasn't gone to the engine builder. I haven't tested it to see if it'll work. I could be wrong. In parts of the video as I watch it, I'm very enthusiastic and very buoyant about that it'll work. Now, in reality, I don't know that this is going to work. All these carbs are old and worn out. So I went for something different. A little bit of online research and a bit of a gamble. So I got parts in from Australia and from England and combined them together. And this is the result I've come out with. At this stage, it's okay. But hopefully, I'm about to test it in the next 3 or 4 weeks. The carburetors for the wedge tank and the round tank, massive issue for me. They're all shagged. They're all worn out. They're all worn out. They just are. They've got an inch over the stub, and I think it's 22 mil or 7/8 into the slide, and that's cool, you know, whatever. I've got 3 and 2 halves. The one on the wedge tank is the best of what I had, and then this one is the best of what was left over. But it's all worn out and it's all shagged. So I'm going to attempt to do something that isn't done, or I haven't found it done. But I bet people have. I guarantee you people have done this. If I want to fit a more modern carb. So I read an article online one night that said you can use a 276 that's jetted right. I think they suggested a 180 and a 106 or something, the 2 jet sizes. That didn't mean a lot to me, but that's what it said. I thought, well, okay, I could do that, but I could go a step further and try and fit a concentric. But with a concentric, there's no stub mount. This isn't a concentric. This is the copy of a concentric, is the Evolution carburetor. Now, without being too unkind, I believe the evolution was to take the AML concentric design and change it ever so slightly and call it something else, but that's another topic. So I bought the Vossel, or Wassel, depends on what country you're from, 6-26R. It's a right-hand side. So the tickler's on the right. Yeah, that makes sense. And then I need to get it on the stub. The stub has an outside of 1 inch and the inside of 7/8, I believe, but we'll measure that in a minute. So I need an adapter. Now, as it turns out, adapters are a thing. They can be bought. In particular, you can buy them from the Villiers service online. And I hope that that goes through there. And that's its first fit. I've got a phenolic washer in there that maybe I need and maybe I don't. I'm not sure. I don't know whether it'll fit with spring washers or not. It might. So I bought a phenolic washer from one company, the carburetor from another, and got the adapter in from overseas. and I've been sweating on it all to see what happened. Oh, come on. It's days like these when I wish I didn't have fat fingers because, you know, it would be better. So I imagine the phenolic washer is about heat, and I don't know whether I should fit it or not, but I have. And people can tell me I'm wrong or not. So you end up with a jigger that looks like that. And that seems to be the only solution I could find. The Villiers stub to amel, I think that's what they call it, is 2843 on the outlet side. And we'll get to that in a minute because that's not going to happen. And is 22 mil inlet into the carb, same as the inlet into the stub. Let's go to the bike. Maybe it'll make more sense. Rightio. Here's the carburetor, and it's tightening down onto the phenolic washer, or phenolic, I suppose. But the stud's not quite long enough for my liking. So I may remove the washer. Yeah, because there's not enough thread through the nut. So maybe I'll remove the washer and then we'll have a look. So let me get my calipers off the bench. The inlet, the actual inlet, the ID, is only 1834, so it's 3/4 inlet. Sorry, it wasn't 7/8 at all. And the stub is an inch, because I've measured them. It's an inch. So we've got 18 mil or 3/4, we've got an inch, and then we've got 28 mil, which is an inch and, I don't know, an inch and something. I made a spacer. I made it out of a bronze and I cut a slit in it. And the spacer is nominally, I think it's 2834. I hope I've made it exactly the right size. And it fits over. And then I really need this to fit. Oh. And then that fits there. Oh my goodness. It does fit. Now that's actually the first time I've fitted it. You saw the phenolic washer and the adapter and the carb go on in real time while I sweat about it. Okay, what's good about it? The good bit about it is it's brand new. The good bit about it is it's got 22 mil, which is the same as what was on it. That had 22 mil. I'm going to call it an outlet out of the carb into the motor. And I believe that once that's on and tightened up, that will all seal up butte. Butte, if butte's a word. I'm going to try and find a spanner. Wonder what the Villiers man uses. Now that's at its tightest, Mr. Villiers. You might have fibbed to me. The spacer could be ever so slightly bigger, which isn't a huge problem. Oh, don't round the nut. That has tightened. A socket on there might nip it up tight enough. It's not an issue. It doesn't matter. It fits. I'm back. And I've just put a socket on it and I've just nipped it up. I've nipped it up on the spacer and it fits. It can force it. So maybe the spacer could be a little bit bigger, which is all right. I'll make another one if this works. Let's go with it from there. So I'm happy, I think. I'm going to take it all off and remove the phenolic spacer and go at it again. I won't bore you with that. So I've removed the spacer and the studs fit perfectly, and there's a little bit of thread hanging out, and that makes me feel a whole lot better. I'm still not sure about the spacer. The spacer does feel, the spacer on the spigot feels as though it's a hair small. I don't want to over tighten this adapter, but I am happy with how that looks. I really am. That kind of works for me. Yeah, that kind of works for me. It's a matter now of, can it be tuned to run this thing? Well, I kind of think it can. I know my engine builder will have a crack at it, and the first bike it's going on is the wedge tank. So whilst it's fitted here, it's going on the wedge tank because the Maggie's done and that bike's almost ready to fire. My engine builder will say pull the chokes out because they're shit, and we'll go from there. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. You know I like a bit of up close and personal. So here it is. You can see the adapter and you can see the carb. Now, it's been well done because the spigot is there. And so you're only pushing the carb out about maybe 3/8, 10 mil, maybe less. I think it's okay. Maybe it hits high. Let's have a look at the other side and I'll explain to you what I was thinking there. So the carb has a fuel hose spigot, but the fuel tap doesn't. The fuel tap has a screw-on piece. Now, somewhere, walking with you, in my box of hope, I have a piece that could save the day. Where is my box of hope? I think it's actually a bag of hope now. Oh, we really are getting agricultural, aren't we? Here is a piece that goes into that pipe and screws back onto there. So there's a fuel hose adapter for the tap. They're different sizes. That's the first issue. But I think it's redeemable. Doesn't seem to be a good place to video this from, but nevertheless, looking in here, you can see I've fitted the carb spacer, or the carb adapter. Now, I turned a new bushing for this one and made it a bit tighter, and it's possibly tight that I don't want to remove it. Now, I've taken the liberty of removing the choke from this Evolution carb because I think that's what my engine builder will want. And I have hooked the throttle cable up, and I am hoping that all of this fits just like it did on the round tank, because everything was pretty good on the round tank. Now, it occurs to me you can see nothing. So let's move you across a bit. Motorbikes and videos with big guys like me are a bit of a problem. But I'm doing my best to show you what's happening. Now the adapter's got plenty of spacer on it, plenty of stud on it, but everything only just goes into place because at some point the stud is too long and you can't get the nut in. So you've got to ease the carby off the stud a little bit to get it on. I'm going to go around the back and see if I can get this one on from this side. While I kick a plastic storage bottle around the room. And again, you need to ease the carby off the stud a bit to get the nut to come into play. And then as you tighten up the nuts, the carby can go back on the spacer properly. Well, at least you hope it's properly, don't you? While I'm round here, I will find the right spanner and start nipping it up. And I'd love it if it never needed to come off again. But I'm not that naive, I don't think. All right, this one side. And here's the other. So I think I mentioned before, there's an O-ring on the carby. Now, I don't want to over tighten those. Just going to loosen that off a little bit and straighten up the carb, or what I think is straight. And then give that a nip up. And I feel much better about this one than I did about the other one. Now, this has got a bell mouthy thing on it. And what I'd really love is a bell mouth with a little air cleaner. And you can get them. So I'm going to look for that and see if I can get that. In the meantime, I've just thrown my dull metal one on the ground. So I'll measure that. Now, in theory, I'm just about done. I've got to do the fuel hose. It's on the other side. And I've got a bit of, I think that's 5.5mm inside that I'm hoping will go really neatly onto the spigot on the bottom. I'm going to do that. There we go. It's like it was before. Everything fits in there really neatly, almost like it was made for it. Fuel hose, and now I've just got rubber hose. I'll see if we can step around the other side. I've just got rubber hose up to the fuel tap, couple of clamps, and all's well. It doesn't look too bad. That's the carburetor kind of done. I've got to reconnect the throttle cable up here, so that's okay. After that, I've got some chrome plating to come back, and I've got copper tubing to put in. And then in theory, it could go to attempt to be started. This is a little bit loose that I don't like because it'll hit the tank, but it's okay. Copper tubing to go, oil feeds, and then off to the engine builder who would like to start the bike and make sure it's going okay. There you go. What do you think about that? Have any of you done it? That's what I want to know. I can't find anybody that's done it, but there must be people that have put little McCuneys or a whole range of things on these old clunkers and had a success. Me, I've gone with that evolution or concentric, whatever you want to call it. Doesn't matter to me. I've gone that direction to see if I can get it for work. It's certainly clean and tidy and looks the business, but will it work? Well, I hope I'll find out in the next 2 or 3 weeks. In the meantime, go and check out my web store. Links in the description. You don't have to buy anything, but I'm really excited by the notion of actually having a store and having 4 items for sale. Wow, that's exciting. Hey, hit the subscribe button if you like. Most of all, I hope you got something out of what we did. I hope maybe you learned something, or even better, can you tell me something I don't know? Say good day from wherever you are in the world. It's been fantastic to talk to you. Cheers. Have a good one.